Well, hello, hello, hello. I'm so glad you came back for a second episode. We are
Oh,
gonna have such a nice time together. And this time it's not me who's
oh,
talking, but I would really like to introduce my the other gangster in the room.
so
And it's like Salt and Pepper said in their famous music, uh, what a man, what a man, what a man, what a mighty good man. So we have Jussi Mori, my favorite Finnish guy.
hey,
Damn,
hey,
how
Maran,
are you, Jussi?
I'm great, great. Always when we record this Teams cast, right? Always.
Always, always, every single time. Nice. So Jussi,
Yeah,
last time we were talking about me. Now I'm not very interesting, but let us tell. So oh yeah, that's a good one. We need
don't
to do
don't
this
forget.
first.
Yeah,
Yes, yes. If there are children in the room, please escort them out
yeah,
because this will not be for the faint of heart.
exactly. Like last time, there will be some foul words, there will be swearing, and there will be
Fuck
slippery jokes.
no.
No, no. Okay. Yeah. What about me? Yeah. So
Yeah.
my name is Jussi. Um, I was born in Finland, grew up in Zurich, so that's why I have this funny first Finnish name. I'm a principal Office 365 consultant at Experts Insight in Switzerland, but I operate a bit from all over the globe. My focus is on user adoption and requirements engineering, and especially having fun while doing this. It's very important to
Yeah,
keep having fun while you're doing
absolutely.
serious shit, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Next to that, I'm also community and product community manager, product visionary at Habit.com. So we talk a little bit about Habit later on as well. So I
Sure,
try
sure.
to disrupt the digital learning and by helping the end users. And this is a very, very, let's say, related topic to that what we have today. And
True.
on free time, I'm a Star Wars and Lord of the Rings geek. I'm a
Oh man, have you seen that new trailer? That new Star Wars trailer?
yeah, of course I did. Of course I. And
Okay, sorry.
I also like Game of Thrones. By the way,
I get that.
Game of
I
Thrones.
get
Yeah.
that. Yeah, I
So
didn't know you were into little blonde girls, but okay, okay, cool.
you
I
didn't
get that.
know. So last Monday, winter came everywhere.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
So okay. Next to that, I'm a petrol head. So I like cars. I like sailing, and
What
also
what
hobby
what do you drive? What do you drive?
BMW 530e.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. Okay. So you sail as well. All right.
Sail, yeah. I'm a sailor without a boat, so working on the boat.
Okay.
But I
Cool.
have been sailing with my family a lot when I was teenager and a kid, and now living back in Finland, it's full around awesome sailing places here. So
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to summer to go sailing with my
Yeah.
buddy JP.
Yeah. I get it.
Yeah,
Helsinki is full of seamen. That's true.
it is full of seamen. Yeah. It's a seaman country. Oh God.
Anyway.
Anyway, yeah, winter came everywhere here as well.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, then
Mm-hmm.
I'm a hobby cook and wine drinker.
Yeah.
And then also, I love the community organizer of SharePoint Saturday Central Europe, where you cannot come. Damn it,
Nope.
you come somewhere else. And then Helsinki, I will do as well. And then another location, what I will reveal really soon.
Ooh.
It's gonna be
Cool.
interesting. It's gonna be interesting.
All right.
And yeah, like you, I'm an MVP, 5 years now. I had a break of 1.5 years in between. Yeah, but that's me.
Nice. Wow. You really are a hero, man.
I don't know how you say
And
fake it
and
till you make it.
yeah, and to be honest, how long do we know each other now? A few years.
Yeah.
And I have to say, I've seen you drink almost any kind of liquor, but I've never saw you drink wine.
No?
No, I saw you drink beer, vodkas, all kinds of cocktails, whatever. I don't think I've ever seen you drink wine.
Okay,
Unless I was too drunk to watch you drink wine.
That was
Maybe
probably the case.
Yeah, could be. Anyway,
okay,
let's get into the content.
Yes. So why classroom training suck? And the truth had to be told. The truth had to be told. Why do they suck? So what do you think, Marijn?
I agree. And there's a but. There's an it depends, like always.
Yeah, it's a consultant answer, right?
Yes, of course. So I'm wearing my consultant hat today.
Yeah.
So yeah, but generally 99.9 of the cases, yes, agreed. They suck.
Okay, let's dive a little bit more into that. I mean, as you said, it depends. So I say also very often, nothing beats human interaction face to face. That is still the case, but it really depends in what type of information you want to transport to the user. And when it comes to using tools like Office 365, you cannot send your whole staff into a classroom training. It's just too expensive. Plus
3,000 people, one big hall.
That's not really.
If Tony Robbins can do it, then why can't we? I mean, Tony
Yeah.
Robbins, he always gets 20,000 people in a big stadium.
Yeah,
sure,
maybe. Yeah, maybe if Office 365 would be as entertaining as Tony Robbins, then maybe we could do that.
It depends on the trainer, of course.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's another part. It depends on the trainer, and the thing is that classroom trainings are really good if you have something very, very, let's say, specific and very complex to learn over a longer time period, and you go and learn a certain thing over a longer time period. But if you have something you just need to get familiar with and start using, then it's just like shooting with cannons on sparrows.
Yeah.
So it's very expensive, it's very inefficient, and it just doesn't bring any value for the user, because
and the thing is you have to think about so when a company wants to do training, you get 30 people in one classroom for a full day. So not only do you have to pay the price of the trainer, but you also have to pay the day rate of those 30 people who are there.
Of course,
so they become
really expensive.
Very expensive. And if the amount of knowledge that they retain after the training is going to be low, because the training doesn't work, then you just spend a lot of money without any value.
Exactly. So where I realized this the first time, I mean, I did shitloads of SharePoint end user trainings, right? And I did that globally for Nokia, by the way. And I mean, I did a lot of them, and always my students were, wow, this was such a cool training, this was awesome. And then 2 weeks later, I asked them, okay, so are you using that stuff? Oh no, I forgot everything,
Yeah.
And then it kind of opened up to me, okay, that really sucks,
Doesn't
so
work.
that's why I used to be a SharePoint trainer like you, but then I got an arrow in the knee, so I stopped doing that. And it's because mainly of this,
Yeah.
People just forget too fast. So if you're not using your stuff after you have learned it, you will lose about 80% of that what you have learned within 2 weeks of time.
Yeah, true. Yeah.
So as you said, it's really expensive sending everyone there, having the trainer rate, and then actually having no yield out of this, True. So why are we still keep on doing this?
Yeah.
So another thing about unproductivity. So what happens on a daily basis? So 47% of waking hours are spent on thinking what is going on?
isn't going on?
What isn't going on?
Hey,
Or what? Yeah, I mean, if you are somewhere, you know, at work, okay, where is my coffee? Why is my laptop not working again? Okay. Okay.
What was my password?
Yeah.
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 Gotcha.
Oh,
Yeah.
my coworker has a nice dress today, you know. Bing,
Oh
just
yeah. Yep. Guilty.
guilty as charged, right,
Yes.
Marijn?
Yes. That's why I love this thing. I have to deal with marketing and communication departments all the time. They've got some
This is why
good
you went into
dresses.
user adoption, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, having that and the average attention span of 12 seconds, you know.
12 seconds. I read a study, I think it was last year or 2 years
Okay.
ago, that now our attention span is lower than the attention span of a goldfish.
Wow.
So I don't know if it was really true, but I thought that was an inspiring message. Like,
hey,
what?
we could do an experiment and try to start teaching Office 365 to goldfishes.
Oh, what were you saying? Sorry, I was busy on my phone. Sorry. Oh no,
So
you lost my attention, sir. No.
yeah, exactly.
No, absolutely. No, I get it.
Yeah.
It is terrible, and I have to say I have that as well sometimes. So I'm working on something on a document, and then an email comes in, and I see that email, and I go to that email, and I try to blah 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 and answer that one, and then I have to look something up, and then 5 hours later, I'm finally back at my document. Like, okay, what was it? What was my train of thought? What was I thinking?
Yeah.
What was I trying to do?
And you know, exactly the same thing is happening in the classroom. With additional, someone is kind of telling something in front of you, and you're supposed to be following what this person is saying.
Zone out.
Yeah. Yes, you just zone out. You know.
Yeah, and especially that is especially true if you have a warm lunch.
Oh yeah, pizza coma. Yeah.
Yes, something like that, and then everyone you see that around 2 o'clock, everyone just goes like, ah.
So imagine you're in your internal movie and you're in this classroom training, and the trainer says, okay, what did we learn today? And you know, so you're there like totally blanked. You sit there a full day. You should be now the pro of this stuff, but no, you know. So how does it make you feel? It make you feel stupid. And you put it nicely. It's not the fear of missing out.
It's not fear of missing out. It's the fear of feeling.
Or the fear of fucking
up. The fear of fucking up. That was
exactly.
It. Yes.
Fear of
absolutely.
Fucking up.
Yeah. And I think we really got some really nice responses to that as well. Yeah. But still, it's one of my main things. Like, if something happens and I wasn't there, I don't care. But yeah, if I have to do something, if I have to present something, if I have to teach something, I'm scared shitless that I will not provide enough
beef.
Yes, that.
Yes.
So yeah, and I guess that's true for a lot of people. So they went to the class, they got back to their desk, they got their SharePoint site, their Teams, their whatever, and now they need to add a person, or they need to create a new document library, and they just go like, oh crap.
Wow, how did it go?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
This last night's Game of Thrones episode was so cool. So totally lost everything now, you know?
Yeah.
So you zone out, and then you start to feel stupid. And when people feel stupid, you have a problem with user acceptance. And try to fix that one. So
yes, because they will say, no, the system is too hard.
Exactly.
I'm not
crap.
so stupid. System is crap because it's too hard.
How many times I have heard SharePoint is crap, it's too hard to use. Come on, it's not hard to use, right? No. If you work with it a little bit, it's not rocket science. Of course, it has a lot of things what you can do. You can configure the typical Microsoft over feature fucking thing going on. Yeah. But you can get your way around with SharePoint. It's a beast to tame. But still, people are so scared still about that. So
I know. And
the problem.
It's what I always say in the beginning of when I do coaching or whatever. It's always in the beginning. I always say, like, look, this is if SharePoint was difficult, I would be doing something else. There's a
Yeah.
reason why I'm doing Office 365 and why I'm not doing SAP, because SAP is fucking difficult.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. I'm too lazy. I just want to do something that is easy.
Yeah.
And I just want Office 365 is the perfect fit for me.
Yeah, too lazy. Now we come to the next slide. Now we understand why you are too lazy.
Yes.
You're a millennial, right?
I'm a millennial, born in 1982.
Yeah,
So that
cons,
means
lazy, unproductive, self-obsessed. This totally fits you, Marijn.
Ooh, me? Really? Ah, can't be. No way.
Yeah, but this slide, I mean, you know, you have different generations, and every generation is kind of has different motivations, you know, has different cultural, let's say, behavior patterns. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And also different motivations to get to learn new things.
So
and with the whole evergreen nature of Office 365, constantly changing, always up to date, you have to adapt to changes.
Probably a millennial can cope with that, but baby boomers might have a big issue with this, you know, being more, let's say, change resistant. We from the, like, I'm one of the Generation X, so, you know, I can deal with it, but I don't really like it, the change.
Yeah.
But with millennials, they're probably more, you know, tech savvy, and you know, they don't are very maybe not so scared to try things out. But how would you address those three different generations with your user adoption? You know, you cannot just have a generic way to do it.
No, there's no one size fits all. It's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, you have different player types. They're from Bartle. They're called player types. So you have the generations, and if every generation has their own, let's say, player type. So you have the killers. They are defined by focus and winning and so on. So usually salespeople are killers. You have socialites. They really respond to doing stuff together, networking and so on. You have achievers, so they are focused by attaining a certain status, you know, and explorers who really are motivated by finding out new things and trying out stuff. Yeah. And we have these four player types. Every one of us has each and every one of them in us, but some are much more developed than others.
Yeah.
So for me,
what I really like for this slide is also that they say they're engaged by something.
Exactly.
So an achiever, they will be engaged by achievements. So for example, me, when I'm drinking beer, I always log them on Untapped, and then I get an achievement. I've got a new rank in whatever Dutch beer I'm drinking.
Yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Oh, that's cool.
Yes. So so that's the other part. You know, you have the generation problem. You have the different player type problem. You know, it makes this even more complex. So that's why what's happened, that a lot of customers say that, okay, user adoption is too hard, let's just not do it, you know. But what is causing this? You know, it's causing a lot of stress. It's causing a lot of problems. You know, if you feel stupid, if you cannot use your stuff and your boss comes knocking on the door, hey, I sent you in a fucking expensive training, you should be a pro in this, and you can't do shit, and you feel stressed about it, what do you know, how do you respond? You probably shut down, you know.
Yeah. And I just crawl in a corner of the room and I just cry.
Yeah, you just weep.
Yeah.
You cry yourself to sleep every night.
Yes.
About SharePoint and Office 365. It's so hard. Yeah, exactly. So what should we do? You know, Bruce Lee said it really nice. The successful warrior is the average man with laser-like focus. I really love that. So laser-like focus is that you cannot just overload the user with information. You need to bring them like laser shots of information what the user needs in order to succeed. Because,
and
you know,
also at the time that they need it.
Yes, exactly. At the time they need it, in the amount they need, that what they can digest, and in the right context. Because let's face it, what usually is happening is this. So the
The
elder scrolls
elder
online.
scrolls online.
So,
Oh, what a
we just
brilliant play on words.
yeah, we just go there and scroll and Google things. It just takes so much time, and it
I know.
frustrates even more. We have been there, we have been in the we should have had the training. Okay, where do I do? What do I do now?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to Google. I scroll and scroll and scroll.
Well, at least we know that we can go to Google, that there's a whole community out there, that there are all docs.microsoft.com and support documents and whatever. So we know that. But the average user who has been printing out all his email for the last 30, no, let's say 15
Oh,
years,
yeah, exactly.
you'll go like, what's a Google?
Yeah.
Where can I get one?
Yeah, exactly. So the key is not to know or to learn everything by heart, but the key is to know where to get your information from.
Yeah.
And this is also a bit, how the different mindset of how you achieve knowledge, how you obtain knowledge nowadays. This is what we do, Marijn, all the time in our conferences. I mean, if I have
Google.
yeah, we Google or we ask people we know.
Yes.
We are so well connected. I mean, I know the superhero in Flow and one in kind of content types and so on. So if I really have a problem, I just ask that person and they can help out. And sometimes they would have a question what I can help. So it's about where to find information and not kind of randomly scrolling and Googling around, which is kind of key. This is what the laser-like focus brings back to. So Big Bang. What do we want to say with this slide? What usually is done is, it also comes into the classroom topic. Classroom topic is like giving information on a Big Bang scale to the end user for a day. It gets banged with information.
Everything that you need. Yeah.
The information bangs you the whole day, and you're totally exhausted after that. So it does.
That what
doesn't
you
really
get from a whole day of banging. You get exhausted.
it doesn't
True.
really work.
True.
It
We're not 21 anymore. I get it. Yeah. Yeah.
Like you would have ever done that. Or maybe you would have.
I don't big bang and kiss.
Okay.
And tell. No. Okay. Oh,
No,
whatever.
but I mean, you cannot just overload the user with information. It's just not working. They will fade out sooner or later.
Yeah.
So you cannot just create manuals, give them to end users. Batman disagrees as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So what can we do? There are tools out there which can help. So for instance, contextual learning frameworks. So as you know, I'm one of the founders of this thing called Habit. Just to quickly say, what you can do is that you can bring learning content directly into the right context of the user. So you can flip it over a SharePoint site or any web application and tell the user right there where she or he needs it, the right information in a digestible manner. It can be video, text, image, or even like a click flow. You can go through telling end user how to fill in. Exactly. How to fill in expense reports. Damn, I always forget how to fill in those fucking expense reports. So you have contextual-based learning solutions or also performance support solutions like this. And this is a tremendous help,
Yeah.
But this is only one part of the cake. The other thing is that you need to kind of, you need to split up the whole thing in chunks. So user adoption comes usually in 4 phases. It's the discovery, onboarding, productivity, and mastery phase. And so in the discovery phase, the user needs to get as fast as possible what is in for me when I use this thing. So what's the value? What's the beef, right? And the user needs to understand that within the first couple minutes.
What's the beef? And then you have a picture of a dog.
Exactly.
Man, what are you guys eating in Helsinki? Jesus. Animals.
Well,
okay. Anyway, so yes, sure, absolutely. Okay. Discovery.
Yeah. So the user needs to figure out as fast as possible the value of that, and this cannot be done in kind of 100 pages manuals. So there you need this kind of, information sprites in the right time. The onboarding phase is more like the phase where the user really starts to learn it. I mostly compare it with like getting a driver's license, when you start driving. That's kind of onboarding phase when you are with the driving teacher in the car and they tell you how to do it. You learn how to move in traffic. Yeah, and once you got the license, then you come into the productivity phase. That's when you get the routine. This is when you know most of the stuff. You don't know everything. No one knows everything, but you know where to find information, and you get routine. And last but not least is the mastery phase. This is only a few of the individuals go there. Those who really like the tool or the process or whatever it is, they become masters, and they usually start to help people which are stuck in the
champions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And why do I have this agile graphic on top of that? I would suggest that in difference to the Big Bang approach, we should use an agile approach when it comes to user adoption. So you have you plan the different phases. What are we going to do in the discovery phase? What are the measures we're going to implement? And you do them in sprints. You kind of build them in 2-3 weeks time. Then you test, is it working? You make a retro or you reflect on it, then you replan, and then you go on further and further. So agile is there to solve complex problems, and user adoption is a complex problem. So why not use the agile methodology in that context as well? So that's kind of my kind of recommendation when it comes to that.
I totally agree. Absolutely.
Good. So one of the last questions. Would you, Marijn, let a normal person drive a Formula 1 car? Just pick someone random from the street, put it in a multi-million
If I have to pay for the car, no, absolutely. If I can be the guy who's sitting in the car, yes, I would.
Yeah, but I mean, this is what's happening all the time. You have this Ferrari of Office 365 in your garage, and you just let the users go on it and abuse it,
It's true. Yeah.
And who is to blame when the car crashes? Is the end user to blame? Do we blame the end user once again? Is it the car to blame? Is it the mechanics to blame?
Yeah.
So, difficult question. So who is to blame? Very, very difficult to say here. I said the quintessence here is that classroom trainings do suck in a certain way or in a certain context. Having said that, they are the best way of teaching things to people when you are together discussing and co-creating around a certain topic. But you cannot really address classroom trainings when it comes to end user adoption for Office 365. You need to do it in different ways. So in a way, you cannot blame the end user. You can maybe blame the HR, I don't know, or people who are responsible for learning and development, that they're still stuck in old ways. So my recommendation is to just open your minds about new ways. There is more and more information and applications, overflowing the users on a daily basis. So classical ways don't really work anymore.
Yeah.
So
and even Microsoft helps you out now. So with Teams, for example, they've built this. If you go into Teams, into the help button, you can go to training, and you see all kinds of short bursts of training videos that will really help you how to do something next finish. So absolutely. Now I also have to say, in some cases, classroom training does work. But only if you make the classroom training like half an hour or an hour, where you just go through one scenario.
So for instance,
don't do it a whole day.
No. So for instance, in train the trainer scenarios, it's very good. So if you have, let's say, a key user group, and you have there certain key users who really want to teach end users, then it makes sense to kind of bring them together in a meeting room and give them really like profound information about a certain topic.
Yeah.
And then classrooms is really good. Or if you want to, you know, for some admin classrooms, it's also good.
Yeah. So but if you need to do a classroom training, if your boss says you need to do a classroom training, there are some recommendations.
Yes.
So don't make it a full day. Make it a half day maximum.
Yeah.
If you have to do lunch, don't do warm lunch.
Best have it before lunch. Morning.
Yeah, and also don't have alcohol or something at lunch.
Yes.
Anyway. Make it active. So give exercises to people.
Yes.
Because people they see, they hear, but when they actually have to do something as well,
very good.
There is a much better chance that they will retain that information.
Yes, make it actionable. Make it actionable.
Yes.
Yes. Very good. And also after the classroom training, don't just forget it or just say, okay, now I've learned it, I can go again in 2 weeks. No, go every day, do something, maybe redo the exercises you have done during the training, just to kind of keep it, you know, sinking in your brain, you know.
True, yeah. And also if you give a training around, but this goes for all training methods, webinar trainings, user manuals, whatever, it doesn't matter. If you give somebody a training around a specific product, make sure that product is available then and there or the next day, the latest. Don't say, okay, I will teach you now for 2 hours around OneDrive, and then 6 weeks later you will actually get your OneDrive.
Correct.
In that 6 weeks time, this person will have forgot all about it.
Everything. So it's a waste of money.
I'll tell you about OneDrive tomorrow when you get into the office. OneDrive will be set up for you.
Yeah, very good point. Okay, so I think that was it for this Teamscast today. Episode 2. Episode 2 is in the box. So let's see what we come up with for episode 3.
Nice. You see, it was awesome presentation, man. It was brilliant. It was clear. I know what I have to do now.
Cool. Thank you for your support.
Drink wine with you. No, sorry.
Of course.
No, really brilliant.
Lovely. Marijn, remember, we drink and we know things.
We drink and we know things.
Like Tyrion Lannister.
Oh man, we have so many Elder Scrolls and so many Game of Thrones references.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Anyway, thank you everybody.
Thanks for watching. Again, happy to have any feedback, even if you think this sucks. Let us know. If you think this is awesome, also let us know.
Let UC know if you think it sucks. I'm a tender soul, so yeah.
You're a millennial. You cannot handle it. Let the Generation X handle it.
Yes.
Okay, good. Thanks a lot, and bye-bye.
Cheers.